rapid growth in various sectors and is at the threshold of a digital revolution. A number of industries have adapted to the technological change and have witnessed an optimum turnover over the years.
For us, the challenge always was to get the knowledge of the products out there to the consumers who really want the product. But with digital, with sharing, with social media, what we have found is if there is a good idea and if it is marketed well, the idea spreads itself like a wildfire.
Do Big Symposium, presented by Tata Docomo Business Services and powered by CNBC TV18, focuses on this technological change that can empower industry leaders in the SME sector across all verticals such as finance, human resources, marketing and many more to reap maximum profits for a business.
Initially in 90s we used to have a lot of papers and files for any approval or for any technical documentation. Now all are converted into computer hard disk database.
This year's theme, Digital Dividends, a Leader's Perspective, highlights the impact of merging new age technology with business prospects for the SME leaders as we flag off our first edition in Chennai.
What we are seeing is three major shifts which I'm going to also talk about in the panel as well. So these three shifts are very important because these are kind of common across several sectors that we are seeing. The first one is a macro focus rather than a micro focus, end-to-end macro focus on the entire value chain of an offering, be it a product or a service or whatever be the offering. The second one is the agility, the speed of response that is exponentially different from what it was before. The expectations are also exponentially different from the stakeholders, customers. The third one is the central place that is accorded to customers as opposed to the internal stakeholders. So everything that is done in digital keeps customer at the center. So it goes back to treating customer as the king.
Here are the highlights from the Chennai edition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Do Big Symposium 2016-17, presented by Tata Docomo Business Services and powered by CNBC TV18. India is at the threshold of a digital transformation and has witnessed a rapid growth in various sectors. Although the industry has been technology savvy, there are still a number of enterprises that are yet to adopt the digital change. Despite the vast advantages of a digital transformation, businesses at times feel overwhelmed by the process of going digital. That makes the theme of this symposium, Digital Dividend, a Leader's Perspective, apt for the year with the core agenda to address major challenges faced by businesses and help them improve performance. Through this multi-city platform, it is our endeavor to bring experts and industry leaders together to interact and discuss the potential of the digital era in generating maximum dividends for enterprises. We have one such luminary amidst us to kickstart this evening on a very high note. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Managing Director of the Apollo Group, Ms. Sunita Reddy.
As chairperson of ASL, we look at three things in technology. We said, how do we enable growth? How do we look at customer experience? And then how do we see that the efficiency of the people working for us is improved? In healthcare, it started with the X-ray, which was digital, which became digital first. And then we as Apollo moved on to what we thought, would reach larger critical masses. And we looked at telemedicine, and I think we continue to be the forefront there. We look after many of the African countries on behalf of the Indian government. We're connected to 6,000 villages in Madhya Pradesh. What are the good things that are happening is clearly the personalized medicine, the DNA, the understanding of big data and the algorithms that emerge. This really is the value of healthcare and the value that we should seek everywhere else. Look at the algorithms and the patterns that they define, because that's the secret in understanding what digital can do for you.
Thank you, Ms. Reddy, for that illuminating talk. I'd now like to invite on stage Mr. Prateek Prashine, President Enterprise, Tata Docomo Business Services.
the delegates, the industry experts, the leaders in various industries said that digital is going to have a significant impact to each industry. So 62% said radical, 32% said moderate. So the question of whether we need to adopt digital, we need to be in the digital space is no longer a question. It's about how do we go about doing it. We also asked each one of you as to what is driving you to adopt digital. And what did you say? 58% of our leaders said it's to derive operational efficiency, whereas 35% said this is to improve customer experience. If you were to ask me what I personally feel, I think the value that one can derive in having a better customer experience is probably going to be far higher than the operational efficiencies. But yes, this will have different impact in different industries. For some industries, it's going to be largely operational efficiency, but clearly, I think there's a big benefit that would accrue in improving your customer experience. We know digital can provide huge value, but how do I reap benefits? How do I do this? How do I truly benefit from this? What do I need to do? And that's, I think, the million-dollar question which is plaguing all of us, saying, yes, it's important. How do I reap it? So some our thoughts, our views of how one needs to go about reaping the digital dividend. And that is, clearly it starts with, do you have a very clear vision and strategy about digital? Why are you doing digital? What benefits do you want to accrue from digital? What do you need to make this digital vision alive? What organization do you need to put in place to reap the benefits? How do you go about implementing? Is the conventional method of what I used to do with my IT team and my IT vendors, is that the way I'm going to do this this year? And yes, while I might start digital in a small pocket, how do I make digital the DNA of the organization? You are seeing across industries, global or Indian, how people recognize that yes, I can create that small team which will do digital, but the true benefits of digital will only happen if all my 1,000 employees adopt digital, think digitally, and clearly there are programs that you have to undertake to reverse mentor, to make digital broad-based.
I would now like you, the audience, to take part in a poll that will make us understand your approach and strategy towards digital enhancement. Do you have a digital vision and strategy that is communicated and known to all your employees? You have two options. Click either yes or no. In no particular order, I'm going to invite our panelists onto the stage. Mr. A.B. Khare, Chairman and Managing Director, Madras Fertilizers. Mr. Krishnamurthy Kodanraman, K.K. Raman, Partner, IT Advisory, KPMG India. Mr. Samir Vanchu, Head Marketing, Kevin Care. And Mr. Pratik Pashine, President Enterprise, Tata Docomo Business Solutions. Samir, you saw the presentation that Pratik made. He talked about three big drivers: operational efficiency, customer experience, and managing your workforce. Tell me which of those three drives Kevin can.
I think for various departments, some takes a precedence over the other. So for example, for sales, I'm sure operational efficiency matters because it's about reaching the segment or reaching the right target audience in the least amount of cost. But for marketing, customer experience matters more. Because it's not only about operational efficiency, it's about how effective I can make my rupee work, about getting the consumers at a faster pace or getting engaged customers. I will just give an example is that through Google search, we are now able to target people who are searching for natural shampoos through one of our brands. Isn't that great that people who are searching for natural shampoos and we are there exactly with what they need? And it's like they are searching for us and we are looking for them. And it's meeting of those which is helping us. So for various departments, for different functions, different things take a precedent, and I think that would be my answer to this.
Mr. Khare, same question to you. What do you use digital for? Operational efficiency, customer experience, managing the workforce, or all of the above?
Operational efficiency is basically driving the
That drives your organization.
and something I call customer experience also, because interface, I don't call it customer, I call it a vendor. Vendor experience, like payment to vendor, purchase, whatever we purchase huge quantity of material. So there is a satisfaction to them. For payment, we give SMS on each stage. The payment process is progressing. So that gives them more satisfaction than earlier version when they were not getting any information, only payment was received after some period of time.
Right, so both internal customers and external customers benefit from your digital strategy. Mr. K.K. Raman, you consult across a series of industries, across different sectors. What are different SMEs using digital for?
I think one of the key factors that I see across sectors is there's a great leveling force that has happened due to this digital revolution. There is no major difference between big and small companies that we see, and every company is equally concerned about the need for digital strategy and the eagerness with which they want to implement digital strategy. And the other paradigm shift that we are seeing is that digital strategy, the digital thinking moves customer to the center of all that you do. So that is one area where we see small, medium firms as well as large firms without too much of difference across them, trying to focus more and more on customer needs, both external customer and the interfacing internal customers, so that more value is generated across the value chain.
How many members in the audience either work in an SME or own an SME? Please raise your hands if you have a small and medium enterprise or you work in one. Okay, good. How many of you are scared of technology? Nobody? All right, Pratik, next question for you. You raised some pertinent questions in your presentation. Do we go for big bang implementation? Do we start small? Do we go with the big established players, or do we take a risk on a smaller, lesser known player? Do we go in the cloud, or do we host everything locally? Lots of them are not putting up their hands, but many SMEs get baffled with this plethora of choices, and many of them are frankly scared to sink in big amounts of money, hoping that what if they make the wrong decision? What is your Digital Advisory Council going to do? How are you going to advise them to navigate through this plethora of choices?
So while the choice of approach will differ from company to company or industry to industry, I think the recognition that digital also means completely different time scale. Digital no longer allows you to work on a 6-month or a 9-month program. I know example of Chennai. Last year when floods happened in Chennai, Ola launched boat service in flat 12 hours, right? So digital also means doing things at a drone speed. So you have to change the complete paradigm in which you solved a problem earlier. And I think that's what's going to be critical. How can you change your time frame of evaluation, decision and then implementation so that you reap the benefits instantly? If you decide to do it 9 months later, it will be too late. The industry, the business, the competition would have moved on.
Our next poll question. Do you see your organization appointing a Chief Digital Officer in the next 12 months? 3 options. Yes, I do. No, I don't. I already have a CDO. Please vote. Your time starts now. There's a new breed of digital vendors that's emerged, and lots of people in the audience are asking, one vendor, multiple vendors, big vendors, small vendor. Give us your take on the new breed of vendors. How does one read the market? How does one read this vendor market?
I think fundamentally we have to come to terms with the agility that the digital revolution has brought in. That agility would demand that we get the best that's available in the world. So it is quite natural and it's also a part of the evolution of any newer technology or a newer paradigm that is emerging, that at the initial phase you will have several niche players. Some of them will grow into huge players as time goes.
But fundamentally, we have to have a different kind of thinking when you go towards digital as opposed to the traditional IT automation. For example, IT automation tended to take a micro view in terms of each department, each function, each process, whereas a digital approach will require you to take an end-to-end view, a comprehensive view, a customer-centered view. And these views will be very much embedded in the particular domain or technology that you operate in. So it is quite natural that in the initial stages you will have these niche players, but I see that stronger of those will emerge as larger players as years go by.
The problem of manpower has always been a non-tech problem. Lack of talent, training, education. Has technology impacted your people process? Your hiring, retention, training, deployment?
Immensely. I can't even say in what sphere, in what spectre. I'll just give you a recent example. I was speaking to Prateek about it just before. I just had one of my brand managers who had to relocate and he had to leave the company. And typically, what do? I go to the HR, ask them, fill a form, ask them to come up with alternatives, go and start meeting them. This is what I typically do. But in my LinkedIn, professional LinkedIn, there were already 7 people who had reached out to me before even I posted an inquiry. There are 7 people who have done it over a period of time, said that if there are any openings, please keep me in mind. So I didn't ask HR to, send me CVs. I just send these 7 profiles to them. Hey, these are guys who would reach out to me. Can you consider, what do you think about them? So that is an amazing change.
All right, we have our first audience question. I'm going to take that for Mr. A.B. Khare. The question, sir, is how do you align your digital strategy with your business strategy? And he's asking this because business strategy cannot work in isolation and neither can digital strategy. How do you make sure that the two horses are pulling in the same direction?
Nowadays, the financial modeling of the company is being done either internally or it is resourced from outside. So suppose you decide a business strategy of producing so many things in a particular period of time. Suddenly the price of raw material has increased or decreased. You have to change your strategy, and if you have a financial model available with you for your company, immediately you can take decision whether which product to be produced more or which product to be produced less to give you maximum benefit. So ultimately it is changing the decision making based on some algorithm built in financial modeling.
The next question from the audience is for you, Prateek. Which industry is going to benefit the maximum from digital marketing? Will it be product segment or the service segment?
I would say it's going to pervade all industries, and product or service is not going to matter, because what you're truly driving through digital is to get your customer closer, is to improve your operational efficiency. I think it doesn't matter what the underlying product is.
Or services. Yeah. Product or service. All right, audience, it's time once again for you to participate. I'm going to throw you the last and final poll question. I want you to vote on this question now. The question is this: what stage of implementation are you in with respect to your digital strategy? You have 3 options. You haven't started yet, you're in the initial stages, or you're well advanced in your strategy. Final word, I'd like to conclude the panel discussion. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being part of this discussion.
I believe the acceptance is very high, but I think it's very important to understand the utilization and to never leave out the human element of the way we work, the way we perceive things, and the way we deal with issues. So whether it's healthcare, and especially in the services industry, where the digital industry is going to make a huge impact and we're going to see growth which is 2 times that of manufacturing, I think digitization has a great role to play.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.